Hello, everybody. It is Monday night at 6 p.m. and I am here in Texas. I am the Stampmaven and we are live. It is a great Monday. The Cowboys won yesterday. For those of you who might not know, you can see my signed Aikman jersey behind me. My daughter and her husband gave me that for Christmas a few years ago, and it is one of my most prized possessions. I also have a Romo jersey. I actually grew up in California, and all of my family were 49er fans, but I have been a Cowboys fan forever. I met Danny White, who was a quarterback with the Cowboys during the Staubach era, and I met him in an airport, so that was pretty exciting. We have got a bunch of fun stuff to talk about tonight. I'm going to be showing you the new Eden's Garden collection that's coming to customers on November 2nd. Demonstrators can pre-order it. That's one benefit to being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if you just have to get your hands on this collection, you can email me or chat me and I can tell you about that. I'm going to show you some samples with that. We're going to do a fun fold that I actually use a collection out of the annual catalog, and I'm also going to show you a cute little Halloween treat project before we're done. How does that sound? Let me flip the camera around and we will get started here. And then I'll make sure that we've got everything the way it's supposed to be. Hey, Pam Simmons. So happy to see you tonight, and everyone else that is popping in. Let me come over here and see if I've got any comments for you. Hey, Linda, it's so good to see you and everybody else that's popped in. So, the new Eden's Garden collection is going to be made up of this stamp set right here. It's got some sentiments and it's also got images, of course. Now, one of my favorite images in this set is this one right here. And it's kind of the distinctive is kind of the name of it. Well, not kind of the name of it. That is the name of it. And I'm going to show you something cool that I did with this on my tag sample that I'll show you in a little bit. You know, I usually don't like to show you products that you can't get, but I did want to show you this because I just think it is exquisite. And I want you to be able to put it on your wish list to get it on November 2nd when it comes. Now, look at these beautiful dies here. We have got, let me pull them out of the package here, and you can see them a little bit better. We've got this little die that's the leaves on there. Now, this is a frame, and I'm going to show you on one of my samples how I did not use it as a frame. I actually ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I put one color here and one color here, and I ended up with a couple different colors of pieces of that frame that I could use on my card. All right, the next thing that's in the collection is this beautiful designer series paper. All right, let me get my, I've got it sealed up so well here. Here we go. I want to pull it out so I can actually show you the pieces. Pardon me. Notice the gold in the piece, and on this side it's just more of a pattern with no gold. Here is another one of the pieces. I love this because the main colors are the evening evergreen and the soft succulent. And then here's another just pattern piece that you can use. Look at this one here. This one, oh my goodness, is so gorgeous. Look at all that gold on here. I love the name of this collection, Eden's Garden. It really is reminding us of paradise in the Garden of Eden, right? Okay, here's another one. Soft succulent, and then on this, it's the soft succulent with just a little bit of the evening evergreen and the gold. Let's see, I think this one right here, it's a little hard to see, but it's got little teeny gold dots. It almost looks like you took a Wink Stella and just flicked it. Now look at this piece. It's an ombre. It starts with the light soft succulent, a little darker soft succulent, moving into the evening evergreen here. Marty and Dawn, I agree. This paper is just so pretty. And on this one, you've got, again, this looks almost like you were flicking it. And then over here, we've got the gold again on this paper. But wait, that is not the only paper that you can get. There's actually this cotton paper. Let me open this up, because this is what's known as an early release product. The stamp set and die cut you can get as a bundle, and it will be in the January to June mini catalog. But the papers, and there are also going to be some embellishments. I think they honestly are stuck in one of the shipping delays, so we couldn't even order those now, but they will be part of the collection. Look at this cotton paper. I wish you could feel it, but it truly feels like a cotton t-shirt. And again, it's the soft succulent and the evening evergreen, and you get 10 pieces of this, 5 of each color. And it's got, this side is more solid, and then on this side, if I can get it up here, it's almost a muted pattern. I mean, it truly is stunning. So even though you can't order it till November 2nd, unless you want to join Stampin' Up, you can get it November 2nd. Now let me show you some of the samples that I made. This is the fancy fold card, and I am actually going to, no, Dawn, sorry guys, I just saw this question and I want to answer it. You can order the paper by itself. You can order the bundle with the stamp set and dies. You can just order the stamp set. You can just order the dies. You can just order the paper individually, the embellishments individually, or you can get the whole collection. It's about $80. So here is, again, the fancy fold card, and I'm going to actually step you through this in a few minutes. Now, here is a Christmas tag I made with this collection. Now, when you looked at it, the paper, Christmas probably wasn't what came to mind, but I just used the tailored tags cut out the tag, the soft succulent ribbon, use the red foil and crumb cake to make this tag, and then these little jewels right here are in the little holiday jewels. Okay, how about this one here? You can see that I used a lot of gold on this. I cut out the die cut, but then these little die cuts right here are ones that I used just using a piece of that frame. And then I used, different parts of the paper, and then this is just little strips of gold foil. This is basic white paper, and I cut it out with the die. Now look at this one. This is what I was going to show you. With this stamp right here, I stamped it first in soft succulent. Then I took a blender pen and I took off some of the color. Then I came back in with my cherry cobbler marker and Wink of Stella over the top and some pearls. So I made it, even though it's not holly, it's kind of like a holly effect where you have the leaves and the red berries. I made this cute little tag. Again, the little evening evergreen succulent pieces sticking out. And then right here, I used vellum to cut that out. Hey, thanks, Linda. I really like that tag also. Now, look here. This paper is part of the 2021-2023 in color paper, which just happens to have the evening evergreen, and then it's got the pale papaya, the fresh freesia, the succulent, and then our polished pink. Well, this piece is this piece right here. So I wanted to show you how you can mix and match. That is one of the best parts of Stampin' Up! Products, I think. The way that they coordinate and the colors, you can just mix and match stuff. Also, this Forever Fern stamp set. Do you notice here how this looks very similar to these? So if you have this stamp set, or maybe you just want to get the paper and you have this stamp set, you could make beautiful cards with this or this. All right, now I want to show you what we're going to do next. We are going to use this fancy fold as our sample, but I'm going to be doing it using the, what is it called again? Gosh darn it. It's called the Tidings of Christmas 6x6 paper, and it's actually part of this suite on page 89. And the reason I chose this is because of all these colors that are in the paper. So let me just kind of fan through the paper here so you can see all of the different pieces that are in here. And I'm going to highlight this piece especially because in this piece of paper, every single one of the colors are in it. There's the evening evergreen, the misty moonlight, the soft succulent, Sahara sand, cherry cobbler, and the white. Now on the back, you've just got the evening evergreen. But I think this is so awesome because you can pick any of these that you like And they'll also look good with all the other sheets in the DSP. I'm also going to use this wintry 3D embossing folder. I'm going to use this one here that uses the pine image. Then I'm going to also use this perfectly plaid stamp set. And here are those holiday rhinestone jewels that I was telling you about. All of these colors work with this card pack. So what I did, let me bring in all of my pieces, and I'm actually going to tell you the measurements, and then I will put them on in the comments on this Facebook Live. And then on Thursday, I will actually have a blog post where I show you a little bit more. So let's bring in this card so you can see it as we go. This card actually has two card bases. There's this big piece here, and then there's this card base here that allow us to create this fold. So let me get out my pieces here, and we'll kind of do them in order. So the large card base, this is actually 8.5 by 4.25, and I scored it at 5.5. And that is what is going to make this top fold right here on this card. Then the, excuse me, I've got a tickle in my throat. Then this one, our next card base, I'm doing with the cherry cobbler, and this is the one that actually opens this way, and it is 8 inches by 3 inches, and it is scored at 4. So we are going to start with our large card base first. So I've got my cherry cobbler layer right here, and that is, we're going to call it our cardstock mat for this piece. So let me get my favorite adhesive, my green glue, and let me get my silicone mat, and I'm going to put my glue on this. Might have to stick my pin in it. Let's see if I can just pick it off. Sometimes it comes off, and sometimes I have to stick my pin in there. So I keep a big safety pin and a small one here so I can hold it by that. Then we'll just stick this in here and wind it around, and there we got out that little blob. So now, hopefully, there we go. And the reason I like to use this green glue for most of my projects is it is forgiving. It gives us some wiggle room. So if you happen to get it off just a little bit and you need to move it, you can easily do that without ripping your project. Now, remember, this glue also dries clear, so you don't have to worry about it showing through. Okay, now, the DSP layer that I'm going to put on top now, which is the layer that was here, that is going to be 5.25 by 4. And that is normally the dimensions that you would just put inside a regular card. And of course, when you're creating this card or your card, you do not have to do all the layers. I just wanted to show you how you could do the layers and make it into a pretty spectacular card. Okay, now we're going to work on the smaller card base. So my solid layer, which actually is going to be on this card, it's the Evening Evergreen on the front, but it's also the evening evergreen on the inside. So you're going to need 2 pieces of your solid cardstock. So on the front of mine, remember I showed you this embossing folder? Well, I embossed my Misty Moonlight, and I'm actually going to put this on the front. But wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm getting my right ones here. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So first, yes, I was just about to foul it up. Okay. So I'm going to put on the outside my solid layer, which is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. So, and again, I'll put these measurements in the comments, and I will, you know what? That's not right. I'll correct them when I post it, because I want you to have the right ones. Okay. So we're going to get this down, and then I'm going to put this on the top. All right. So we're going to do that. And again, it gives us that wiggle room. So if you get it where it's not quite lined up, you can get it to where you want it. Okay. Now, on here, it looks like somehow my other little layer went away. So I'm going to just grab my trimmer and my evening evergreen paper, and I will just cut one really quickly. Okay, the best laid plans, right? On my live stuff here. But hey, you guys are very nice and forgiving. All right, let me grab this over here. And let me get my handy dandy measuring tool just to make sure that I'm telling you the right thing. Okay, it is 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. So that was my mistake. 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. So I'm going to correct that over here so I remember to give you the right measurements. 3 7/8. All righty. So let's chop this up really quickly with my handy dandy Stampin' Up trimmer. 2 7/8 right here. And 3 7/8 right here. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to put that in on this side right here, which is this on our original one. Okay, get my little glue here. Okay. And let me just stick that down here. And then I pre-stamped my white layer that is going to go right here. And what I did is I took this image from the Perfectly Plaid. I stamped that in Soft Succulent. Then I took this image and I stamped over it right here in the Evening Evergreen. Then I took this little guy right here is the trunk. I stamped him in Soft Suede. And then the last thing I did, when I stamped it originally, it was like I just had a tree hanging in the air, and I didn't want that. So I went back in and I got a blender pen. I picked up some color from my soft suede pad, and I kind of grounded this tree. Then I took the Merry Christmas sentiment from the same stamp set, and that created my inside here. And I'll probably just write on it here, love the Browns or something like that. You could also, if you wanted to put like a family photo in here, a small one of your kids, or if you have a doggy and you want to do that, you could easily just include that. Okay, now I also stamped this ahead of time. The greeting again comes from this same stamp set, and this die is actually from our pillow box die that's in the mini catalog. So what I would do is grab a few dimensionals, and hopefully you can see how easy this is to put together. You know, I love fancy folds because they kind of step things up and they just make things look a little bit snazzier. Okay, so I'm going to put it right here, but wait, we're not done. Remember I showed you these jewels? Well, I'm going to use my take your pick tool, the piercing part. I'm going to come in and grab a couple of these little jewels. I'm actually going to use 3. I had an artist that I took a couple classes with once. She was actually one of my customers, but she truly has been trained as an artist. And she told me that when you're putting embellishments and things on a card, or you're stamping like a bunch of images, if you do it in an odd number, like 3, 5, 7, that it will be more pleasing to the eye. Well, who knew? Okay, let's finish the front now of our flap, which is right here on this card. Taking my cherry cobbler and go around and stick it down on here. And you see how I'm wiggling it to make it be exactly how I wanted? You know, some of my customers take our seal and they go like, dunk, 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 dunk. That's a technical term, right? Dunk, dunk, dunk. Do you ever do that? Well, that's great. It helps your layers stay on, but if you get it on there crookedly, it's really hard to get it off. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this side. You could easily use this side here, but I like the cherry cobbler, the red. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put down this layer. And let's get it on here. And so I've got that. Now our card's almost finished. Last thing, we're going to center this on our large card base. You could pop it up if you wanted to, but again, I'm going to just use my trusty green glue. Let me get it on the right way. Then we're going to just center it like this and open it up and just press it down. And voila, there's our second card. Hey, Betty and Diana, thanks for popping in. I'm glad you like the cards. So now I wanted to show you one more thing. It's kind of an old time project. We used to make these. I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator 19 years, and guys, at my very first in-person workshops, I used to do these things. Do any of you recognize it? And this might date me too. When I was growing up, a lot of times we got our sour cream in one of these, hence a sour cream container. Hey, thanks, Melissa. Glad you liked the card. I want to show you how to make the sour cream container. This makes great Halloween treats, or I like to use it at Thanksgiving also. If you use fall paper, it makes just a cute little favor for your table. And you could put your guest's name on here, and it also serves as like a place card. So what we're going to do, this is 6x6 cute Halloween paper. You can also cut this down to a different size and make a smaller sour cream container. But you want to, when you give it to people, you want to give them a lot of candy, right? So we'll just keep it the big size. So I'm going to turn it over because I want this side to show. I'm going to use my tear and tape. I'm going to take, and you can either put your tear and tape on the left or the right side. I'm going to do it on the left side. You want to put it down and just get it as close to the edge as possible. And of course, the tear and tape, you just rip it. Then we're going to put a piece right here. And then we're going to put another piece right in the middle here. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we are going to roll this up into a cone. Right? And let's pull that off. And up, you know what I did? I put it on the wrong side. Well, that's okay. We'll just have a black, no, I didn't. I put it on the right side. It's been a long day, folks. But what you're going to do is you are going to roll it this way. So you're going to start with your tear and tape at the top. Then you're going to roll it into kind of like a little toilet paper holder, like this, okay? So, and then we're going to just roll it so it all gets stuck down, like this, okay? Then, next thing you're going to do is you've got this tear and tape right in the middle here. And we're going to pull off this tape right here, the top of it. My nails are kind of short, so it's a little hard to get it. There you go. Then we're just going to press this down. Then we just are going to do the end on the bottom the opposite way. You'd fill it with your candy. Then you'd pull off the rest of this tape, seal it up. Then you'd have both of your ends sealed. And then I just used the little die cut from the stamp set and some of this adorable gingham ribbon. And there you've got your sour cream treats. Easy peasy done. Well, hello, Ruth from Michigan. How's the weather there? All right, now I just want to talk to you really quickly about shipping delays. I don't know if you heard. Let me flip the camera around and I will talk to you with my face. How about that? Hopefully it won't be too scary. Let's see here if I can sit down. All right, there we go. Okay, so I don't know if you heard about the pipeline problems in California off the coast of Huntington Beach. Well, the Port of Los Angeles is a mess. So that means a lot of stuff in the grocery store at some of the other stores that you purchase, and also Stampin' Up is having some shipping delays with products. So that means when our January to June mini catalog goes live, there may be some things in it that you can't get right away, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to show you this card tonight done with products from the annual catalog, which is this great catalog right here. There are so many super stamp sets in here, embellishments that are available. Now, I know we're all like Dora in Finding Nemo. It's like, oh, what's over there? Oh, look at that shiny new embellishment. We all want new stuff, and I get it. I do as well. But I just wanted to remind you that there are lots of great things in our annual catalog. And if you do decide to get the Eden's Garden, either the whole collection or parts or pieces, I would really encourage you to get it on November 2nd. Well, that is what I have for you tonight. And I'm going to get those measurements on the comments for you. And then remember, on Thursday, I'll have the pictures of the new project on my blog at stampmaven.com. Remember, you can also follow me at TikTok. I do videos on YouTube, Pinterest, and Twitter. So have a great night, and I'll see you next Monday, if not before. All right, well, I'm having trouble.